everybody out in YouTube. This is Michael the Geek for Life with another one of my first impressions videos for a recent movie that's come out, and that movie is Ghostbusters. Probably the most controversial movie to come out in quite a while. I admit I wasn't too thrilled to hear it coming out either, as I'm a huge fan of the first one. But I thought I'd give it a shot, because why not? And, just a heads up, I know that this is going to be a controversial... Pretty much any review on this movie is going to catch people one way or the other. I acknowledge that. Just please keep it civil in the comments. You know, it's just a movie. It's alright. Don't worry about it. Also, there are going to be spoilers in this, so if you do not want to hear spoilers, then just go ahead and turn it off now. So I went and saw it. It wasn't worth all the controversy surrounding it, all the negative publicity and everything. Is it as good as the first movie? No, not by a long stretch. Is it as terrible as people are putting it out there as? No, not that either. It's really kind of an average movie. It's definitely funny. I did laugh throughout. There were a lot of funny jokes. But it doesn't compare to the first one. I don't think anybody was realistically expecting it to do that. The four female leads actually were pretty good, and in fact, a lot of the jokes in the trailers that did. By the way, those trailers horrible. They need to fire whoever did the marketing for this movie. The trailers really didn't do them justice. When you see them in the movie, they're actually pretty good. None of them were bad. I liked all four of them. Chris Hemsworth's character actually was really good too. He's sort of this male model, just dumb as anything, comes into there just, I guess, to have a job to get in between modeling gigs, something like that. Very funny guy. Chris Hemsworth, he does comedy really well. He surprised me. And, I admit at points they made his character too stupid to be believable. At one point in the interview process, he's off, and there's a telephone in a fish tank, and he's like reaching for it. He can't understand why he can't touch it, and then he's like, something's too loud, and so he covers his eyes, and it's like, I could believe him being stupid, but not that stupid. It kind of reminded me of, I don't know how many people have seen Parks and Recreation, the Chris Pratt character. That one also seemed a little bit like too stupid to be believable, but the Chris Hemsworth in this movie was even further than that. I felt like they could have dialed that back a little bit, and that would have been just fine. They would have actually had a pretty good character there. But yeah, he's funny. There were some criticisms I heard that all of the men in the movie were portrayed as stupid. That's sort of a half-truth. Yes, all of the men in the movie were portrayed as stupid, but to be honest, everybody who wasn't one of the four Ghostbusters was portrayed to be stupid, even the mayor's assistant, who was a woman. It just seemed to be like everybody in the movie who wasn't a Ghostbuster was supposed to be stupid. And that kind of got a little annoying after a while, but it's no big deal. It's back to the four Ghostbusters. I thought that Kristen Wiig and was Megan McCarthy, they both did pretty good. They were more subdued than they are in a lot of other movies. I mean, they were still funny, but they definitely had reined back some. I don't know what her name is, but she played Holtzman. She's kind of the crazy one. She seems to have a lot of fans split. A lot of people really do like her character, like she's their favorite character, and I admit I liked her too. And then for other people, she's too cartoonish. And honestly, I do see where they're coming from with that, but it wasn't enough for me. Like, I guess compared to how the Chris Hemsworth character was, it wasn't that big a deal. Some of the things in this movie that they did a little different than the first movie did, they did show the evolution of the technology, like the proton pack specifically, and I actually thought that was a nice addition. It was something that the original movie probably should have done, and I would have liked to have seen that. It's not that the movie is less than because they didn't do it in the first one, but it was a nice addition that I felt was actually, it did add something to it. Like, the proton packs weren't just like, right out of the gate, this is what we're doing. And they did show throughout the movie Holtzman specifically upgrading the technology to be better than it was before. But if I'm honest, that too did get a little bit much. I mean, it's not that the technology she came up with was bad, it's just she's coming up with an awful lot of it, and I don't see where she's getting the way to manufacture that stuff. But I mean, it's just a movie. It's a nitpick. But I mean, for me, it took me out of it just a little bit. It's like, how is she getting all this stuff? She can't just be digging through dumpsters for all of it. But that's just a nitpick. And so yeah, the bad guy. I'm sure everybody's heard this by now. The bad guy is extremely forgettable. And the sad thing is, he didn't need to be forgettable. Like, he's just this random bellhop at a hotel or something, and he's just angry at the world. I guess he got beat up or something. They were never 100% clear about what his motivations were, and so he creates this technology to unleash a bunch of ghosts or to enhance ghosts or something like that so that they're more visible and they can do more. It's never said how he knows how to do this, how he acquires the technology or knows how to construct it. It's never said exactly what really happened to him to make him this way. He's just sort of a generic, I'm pissed at the world, so everybody has to die, bad guy. He could be replaced. I mean, he could be replaced by anybody. And honestly, it wouldn't have taken much to make him better. You know, just put a little backstory in there. You know, maybe he was possessed by a demon or a ghost or whatever, and he was being used or something like that. Or maybe he lost somebody and he was trying to get that person back from the other side, and it just went wrong. Or, you know, it really wouldn't have taken much to make this bad guy, I wouldn't say good, but better than he was. Honestly, he didn't get to be even a decent bad guy until he possessed Chris Hemsworth near the end of the movie. And then it was really just Chris Hemsworth's acting that kind of carried it up a little. And so, I mean, that's not good for him, the actor, you know, to say that, but it is the truth. The cameos in the movie, I'm going to mention those. Pretty much everybody from the original that's still alive got a cameo except for Rick Moranis, but I don't think too many people were expecting him to come out. Some of them were all right, and some of them were distracting. They had a bronze bust of Harold Ramis outside of Kristen Wiig's college office, I guess it is. That was not, I mean, it was a little something in the background, just be like, hey, it's Harold Ramis. So, I mean, and that was all right. The second one we saw was Bill Murray. Basically for Bill Murray, the film stops and says, hey, look, it's Bill Murray. And if it was, because he's in two scenes, they basically wrote these scenes just for him. And first he's on the TV as a debunker, and he doesn't believe the Ghostbusters. And if they had just left it at that one, it wouldn't have been that bad. But then he like goes to the Ghostbusters headquarters, and he like gets killed by a ghost. And that was pretty funny, but at the same time, it's like that entire scene only exists because Bill Murray. And nothing against Bill Murray, but it did take you out of the movie, and it just put you back into saying, oh, hey, this isn't the original Ghostbusters because there's Bill Murray, and he's not a Ghostbuster. The third cameo was Annie Potts as Janine. She was a receptionist behind the hotel counter, and she wasn't bad. It was a good one. She just sort of just said her signature line, what do you want? And that was pretty much it, and that was an alright one. Then came Dan Aykroyd. He was a taxi cab driver. Now that by itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but as soon as he pulled up and say, hey, Dan Aykroyd's a taxi cab driver, the movie stops again. And they have this little interchange between him and Kristen Wiig, and he says, like, all of his dialogue is just bad. And even as he's driving away, he's like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And I'm like, that could have been better. It really could have. So that took me out. The next cameo was Ernie Hudson. That was a good one, actually, because Patty, she's been talking about her uncle throughout this whole movie, and then it turns out her uncle is Winston. Ernie Hudson's his name, I know. But it's Winston, and he pulls up and he's like, I didn't put that together until the end of the movie. And he's like, oh, my uncle's going to be pissed because they lost the hearse. And so it's like, he pulls up and it's like, oh my god, it's Ernie Hudson. And so that worked out. And then Sigourney Weaver has a little scene in the credits. And that one's alright too. It's not terrible, it's not the best. It does take you out a little bit, but it's not that big a deal. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, this is kind of like an average movie. It's a 3 out of 5. I mean, but then again, most people have made up their mind before they even went into it. If you were going to hate it, you're still going to hate it. And I completely see why you would. It's not that great. If you went in with like kind of an open mind, you would probably see it sort of the same way I did, where it was like, yeah, it's just an average movie. It can't touch the original, but it's still an okay movie. It's not terrible. It's not crap. It's not garbage. It doesn't disrespect your childhood or anything like that. Slimer. He was a cameo. I should have mentioned him. He actually did pretty good too. He steals the Ecto-1. He pops up out of some food cart and he jumps in the Ecto-1 and he just takes it for a joyride. Him and I guess it's his wife and a whole bunch of other ghosts, and that's funny. Stay Puft makes an appearance too. He's a ghost of a parade float, which I don't quite get how a parade float gets a ghost, but whatever. And that one was alright too. I mean, honestly, them by themselves, except for Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, weren't that bad. It's just the sheer number of them where they're constantly pulling reference to the original movie that sort of did it. And a lot of fans really felt like, okay, it's a little heavy. And honestly, you wouldn't really compare it as much to the original if it wasn't for the fact that this movie was comparing itself to the original a lot. But yeah, like I said, a lot of the jokes in it are solid. I mean, they're 4 solid comedian actresses, so they did very well at that. The writing isn't terrible. It's not great either. It's like I said, it's not better than the first one, but it's probably on par with the second one. I mean, I think the second one is maybe a little better, but I'm also going from a nostalgia point of view, where I kind of have a soft spot for the second one, even though I do see the flaws and I do see it's not a good movie and it's not a good sequel. I do still have a soft spot for it, so there is a little bit of nostalgia. I guess that's it. I mean, if you have an open mind, I mean, if you're willing to give it a shot based on its own merit, then I'd say that this is a decent movie to spend the night, to spend an evening just taking in. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going to love it or anything, but it's an okay movie. If you were dead set against it, you're still going to be against it, and that's okay too. That's fine. I still have the '84 Ghostbusters. I'm going to pop it in whenever I want to. It's not gone. Oh, the special effects weren't, I mean, they weren't great. They weren't terrible. They were what we saw in the trailer, basically, sort of the Scooby-Doo stuff. Oh, it's not as bad as in Scooby-Doo. It's still not great. Anyway, I guess I'll stop there because I probably angered all of the fans. But keep in mind, I am a Ghostbusters fan myself. I love the '84 movie. I still gave this movie a chance on its own merit. Not terrible, not worth all the crap it took, although the marketing campaign sucked, and they kind of earned that part of it. I guess that'll do it. Thanks so much for watching, and in about a week I'll be seeing Star Trek, so you'll see my review for that. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, feel free to subscribe. I'm always doing more videos. Press the like button if you like this one. Leave a comment, and I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. And also, there is a way to support your favorite YouTubers, including me, I hope, financially, without dipping into your own pocket, and it's actually very simple. YouTubers get paid by interactions with the ads. It doesn't matter how many views the video gets, it matters how many times people interact with the ads. So, if you'd like to contribute financially to your favorite YouTubers or your favorite YouTube videos, you can watch that little commercial ad at the beginning of the video, or you can click on one of the little banner ads that show up at the bottom. I know most people just click them away or skip the ad, but honestly, if you interact with them, the advertisers will actually give that YouTuber a little bit of money. So that's a great way to help out without dipping in your own pocket, and you can't lose with that. Thank you very much for watching again. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.